In our last LabLab AI hackathon, we developed numerous techniques designed to make GPT configuration function consistently, chaining requests together. To do this, we used function calls using quotes and step numbers. To learn more, go to the hackathon video link in the description. In our present hackathon, we're going to work on actions, learning how to use actions and work with actions. And the simplest thing we could come up with first is something called a jokes application. You click on it to ask for a number of jokes to kind of pick you up during the day. Maybe you feel sad or depressed. So it asks you how many. In this case, it gave you 3. And there's jokes like, White and the skeleton go to the party. He had nobody to go with. That's pretty funny. Then it asks you if you want some more jokes, and you put 2, and it gives you 2 more jokes. And they're kind of, quirky jokes. Like, it talks to the service and pulls it back from the service. 2 peanuts were walking down the street, and one of them was assaulted. So there you have it. It asks you want any more jokes, and you say, well, I'm finished. And it's going to give you one more joke just to wrap things up. Why didn't the scientists trust atoms? Because they make up everything. The API we're going to use comes from API Ninjas. This is a fantastic site with lots of APIs on here that you can tap into: finance, healthcare and wellness, internet and technology, miscellaneous categories, places, test, text, transportation, just lots of different areas. Now, if you click on my account, you can see there's an API key. So this is where you're going to go and get your API key. So once you register, click on API, get that API key. And once you have the API key, then you can make the action calls inside of your GPT. Now let's go back and take a look at the jokes API. We're going to use that one, so let's click on jokes. When you go there, you can see there's your API key, your URL request, and below that's going to be the output. That's all you're going to need to develop the schema. Of course, you don't have the schema you need here, but you have all the information you need to do that. We're going to automatically create that in ChatGPT. So let's open up our GPT and take a look and see how it was made. Click on Explore, and let's go to Jokes and edit that. When we go in there, we're going to look at the configuration code first. So scroll down to the configuration code. You see there's only 3 steps here. Let's open that up. So when clicking on Tell a Joke, that's our function call, perform the following 3 steps. Step 1, ask a user how many jokes they'd like. Step 2, generate the jokes, and from the get jokes, that's actually your API call. And step 3, ask the user if they would like some more jokes and how many, or finish. And then kind of your finish subroutine is summarize with a goodbye joke. Pretty cool. Just 3 steps and chain together. So now let's discuss our schema. So if we go into the GPT, and we can see our tell a joke and finish functions, and we scroll down and we click on API-ninjas.com, you can see that's our schema. That's our Swagger 3 schema. And you scroll down and you can see the API, and you can see the get jokes. That's the operational idea. That's how we're calling this action. As you scroll down a little bit more, I'm actually kind of interested in seeing what's in the API, because I'm going to need to put the API key in there. So scrolling down just a little bit more, we see, oh, there it is, the X API key. Excellent. So when I go in there, I'm going to want to actually click on, once the API key is inputted, I can actually do a test. So this is a really cool feature of GPTs. It's going to automatically pull in your function calls and you can test them. And you see it's working. It's going to call out to the Ninjas API jokes API, and it's going to bring back a couple of jokes. There you go. And that's working. So in order to get that working, in addition to the schema, you have to put in the API key that you get from Ninjas. So hit API key, X API key is your custom, and then put in your API key and hit save. There you go. Now with that done, you also have to put in a policy if you're going to go public with this. So click on public, confirm, and I actually use the Open API policy for this. All right, and that's all there is to it. Let's go and look how this was built. So we're about to create the schema, and I don't want you to miss what we're actually doing. We're actually going to create the schema inside of ChatGPT. So we're going to put the following words in here and grab the API link and the output link from API Ninjas. So that what we're going to put in ChatGPT is create a Swagger 3 spec file to use with your actions for this endpoint. And then we'll go to API Ninjas and get the API link. And then under that, we'll go make sure to include the server URL and include the operational ID. the response will look like the following, and we'll get that response from API Ninjas. So what you input into ChatGPT to get the spec file should look like this. Create a Swagger 3 spec file to use with your actions for this endpoint, and that endpoint you got from API Ninjas. Make sure to include the server URL and include the operational ID. The response will look like the following, and you get that from API Ninjas. So now let's walk through the process. So as we mentioned, we're actually going to paste this code into ChatGPT and create our schema. This is pretty amazing. You see create Swagger 3 spec file, and that URL, the request URL, will get from Ninja's API, and also below that we can see that server and operational ID. Under that, we're going to get the output we need to create this Swagger file. It's just really amazing. It's so simple to do. So we're going to go to Ninja's API and get the information that we need. This is a fantastic site. Look at all the different areas that you can pull from. I mean, it's whatever you can think of pretty much. Now, in addition to this, there's thousands of APIs out there. And we're going to look at the joke one. And we can see here is our request, a URL for the jokes, right? And then below that is the output that we need for the ChatGPT to create that schema. And we'll use JavaScript, so I'm familiar with that pretty well. And we'll copy all of that. And we're going to go back to ChatGPT and make sure everything's pasted in the right order, as we showed in the previous slides. And once we get that, I'm going to hit go. And it's going to automatically generate that schema for us. Now, this schema can have some errors in it, but we'll take it back and we'll put it into GPT that we're creating. And if it gives us an error, we'll bring the error back here and we'll ask it to fix it for us. Now, notice it's creating this in YAML. It can also create it in JSON. So we're going to ask it to create it in JSON in a moment. But it will work either one, YAML or JSON, is whatever you prefer. And it's printing it out right now. And I'm going to say, well, let's change this to JSON. So let's say put this into the JSON format. It'll do it for you. Isn't that amazing? Wow, it's just so easy to use this stuff now. It just gives me wings. I can fly. I can code as fast as I can think. And you can too. So I just want to encourage you to just really start digging into this technology and using it. You don't have to be a 10-year-old coder. You can start coding right away. You just have to understand how everything fits together. So your skill sets is your intelligence, the things you can think, and creating. That's what's valuable here. There you go. It's putting it into our JSON schema. And there we have it. It's coming toward the end here. And here we go. Last few braces. There's your 400 issue. Bad request. 401, 500. Server's not working. And there's your API key, your XAPI key that you'll need to get that API for. And for your authorization. And there you go. So now let's put that schema into our GPT. So let's scroll down here and click on the actions area. And let's go ahead and substitute it in for what we have now so you can see it work. And let's paste that we copied from our GPT. And you can see we got an error. In component section, schema subsection is not an object. So just copy that, go back to your ChatGPT and put in, hey, fix this error. And when you put fix this error, it's going to crank through it and it's going to fix the error. Isn't that super cool? I mean, it's like coding is never been so easy. So once you have that new schema, it's going to pump it out right here. You're going to copy that schema and you're going to take it right back into your GPT and paste it in, and we'll see if it's going to work here. And you see it's just cranking it out. It's fixing the error. You may not even know what the error was, but ChatGPT doesn't care. It's going to fix it for you anyway. So there you go. I mean, this really gives the ability to practically do anything. You can code as fast as you can think, and anyone can do it. This democratizes this technology. I just want to encourage you to see how easy this is, and that you don't have to be a 10-year coder to be able to do super coding work. I'm going to take that back now. Let's copy that. And let's go ahead and put that into ChatGPT. And let's see if we get more errors. No errors. Woohoo! It's giving me my function. I can hit test to see if it works. It remembers the API key I've already put in there. And there you go. Jokes are coming. This is just fantastic. And I just, you have so many APIs with the Ninja. but also there's thousands of APIs out there you can tap into and build amazing stuff. So turn on your creative hats and start getting out there and creating stuff that people never even thought could happen. This was Mike Lively. Thanks for listening. We can't wait to show you the results of our next hackathon, and that should be around December 22nd. So stay tuned. We'll be putting out a lot more tutorial videos like this to help you guys get working with this amazing technology. See you next time. Bye-bye.